Welcome to Fix It Home Improvement, covering projects that every homeowner should know and great products for home and garden.
Hi, I'm JC, and this is where we share weekly home improvement tips. I'm here with my co-host, Cindy.
Hello, JC.
Hi, Cindy. This week, we're going to talk about replacing a vanity light, and we'd like to thank Britt Me for a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate it.
Yep.
A wall sconce originally was a wood or metal bracket that held a torch, candle, or lantern. In ancient Rome, torches were made by wrapping a cloth soaked in sulfur and lime or other flammable fluids around a wood stick. Castles and crypts would have sconces to hold a torch for lighting. In the 1800s, they used lime lights for stage lighting in theaters and music halls. And to get the light, they would heat a chunk of quicklime with a flame that was created with hydrogen and oxygen. And this produced a bright white light that was called limelight. And that's where the phrase being in the limelight came from.
Interesting.
Yeah. Many bathrooms have vanity lights that are wall-mounted above a medicine cabinet or mirror, or a pair of wall sconces on the sides of a medicine cabinet or mirror. Vanity lighting above a medicine cabinet usually has 2, 3, or 4 sockets for light bulbs, and the two main types will either have a small decorative cover over the electrical box with decorative tubing to the light sockets, or you're going to have a wide decorative rectangular cover with sockets or decorative lights coming off that cover. If you're upgrading your vanity lights above a medicine cabinet and want to avoid drywall repair and repainting, match the cover of the new fixture to the old one. If you have a small cover, it's easy to cover the area with a larger one, but depending on the condition of the wall under a large rectangular light cover, you may have to do some compounding and painting if you're replacing it with a smaller cover. So step one, if you want to avoid extra work, is measuring what you have.
Don't we all?
Yes, and even if you want to go for a similar rectangular cover, make sure it's the same size or larger, because it's a drag. If all you want to do is change the light and you don't have touch-up paint for the wall, you end up having to repaint that wall or the whole room.
Yeah. When
you're replacing a vanity light, turn off the breaker to the circuit you're working on. A shock under the right conditions can be deadly. Run an extension cord from another area so you can have a work light or a lamp for your lighting, or you can use a headlamp. And they're very handy, great for emergencies, for projects, for camping. I've seen some lightweight models for running. Some top-rated headlamps come from Klein Tools. It's Klein, Phoenix, Fenix, Coast, Coast, Black Diamond, and Night Eyes. And it's Nite, capital Ize.
I'm going to buy you a headlamp, because you always complain that you can't see. And I think you should just wear it all the time.
And I would look cool. On the old fixture, remove the light bulbs and shades or light bulbs and socket covers. The decorative cover could be held in place with set screws, or you could have decorative screw caps that are attached to threaded rods, or you could have a threaded pipe with a decorative screw cap. And sometimes it's going to take a little hunting to see how you're going to remove that.
So you should use a step stool or a chair or something, not stand on your toilet.
Or stand on the sink.
You're right.
For lights with a wide decorative cover, once the cover's off, you're going to have a mounting plate with sockets and wires, or the whole fixture might pull off. The light fixture wires will be attached to the house wires inside the electrical box with wire connectors, and double check the wires with an electrical tester to confirm that there's no power to the wires before you start taking them apart. I like a non-contact electrical tester. You can put it against the wires in the box before you remove your wire connectors. And always check your tester on something you know is live first, like an outlet. And that way you're going to confirm it's working properly before you use it on your project. Some top-rated electrical testers come from Fluke, Fluke, Sperry, Sperry, and Klein tools. Depending on the light, the mounting plate or the fixture strap may need to be removed first so you can get to the wire nuts to separate the wires. On large rectangular mounting plates, the plate will be screwed to the electrical box, and then you may have additional screws in the drywall that help hold the fixture in place.
So what seems like a simple project of replacing your vanity light is really kind of exciting because you don't know what's back there.
Yeah, there are so many different types of mounting straps and fixture straps. It could be a rectangular piece of metal that's screwed to the electrical box, or two overlapping pieces of metal called crossbars. You could have a larger square or octagon piece of metal that the old fixture was attached to. You're usually going to have a green ground screw and a ground wire attached to this, but not always. Mm-hmm. And octagon and round boxes are common for vanity lights and sconces. Your household wires, so the wires inside the electrical box, should be in an electrical box. If you just have non-metallic cable or flexible metal conduit behind the wall and there's no electrical box, it's a code violation. All the wire connections should be, or all wire connections have to be in an electrical box. And that's going to protect against sparks or overheating, and that's going to help prevent a fire.
Right.
If you need to add an electrical box, you can get an old work box. It's also called a remodel or retrofit box. Mm-hmm. The plastic styles have tabs on the front of the box to hold onto the outside of the drywall, and then you have tabs that swing up behind the drywall, and they tighten up with a screw, and that's going to lock it in place. All you have to do is just cut an opening for it. Mm-hmm. So it's very easy to install. And they're going to work with non-metallic cable and metal-clad flexible cable. Metal-clad flexible cable has a hot wire, a neutral wire, and a full-size ground wire. If you're in Chicago, parts of New York, and some other areas of the country and have metal conduit with individual wires that are run through the conduit, you could have flexible armored cable running up to your vanity light. And if you don't have an electrical box and you have this armored cable, you need to install a metal box. Armored cable has a thin aluminum bonding wire inside the cable, and this is folded over the top of the cable, and this works with the outside metal to provide a ground path. In areas with conduit, you usually won't have a ground wire. The metal electrical box connected to the metal conduit all the way back to your service panel is your ground path for safety.
Right.
If you have armored cable...
Such a cool name.
Get an old work metal box. It has metal tabs that hold it in place. You connect the cable to a metal fitting and connect the fitting to the box. Once you connect your cable, you can confirm that the box is grounded by using a multimeter. Mm-hmm. You're going to set it to test for 120 volts AC, separate the wires inside the box so nothing's touching, then turn on the power. Touch the red probe from your multimeter to the hot wire and touch the black probe to the metal box. If it's grounded, it's going to read 120 volts, plus or minus. And then after you check and confirm that the box is grounded, turn the power back off. With non-metallic cable, your hot wire will be black or red, white is neutral, and the bare copper wire is your ground. If your home has conduit, the hot wire can be any colored wire except white or green. White is neutral, green is ground. To put in your new vanity light, connect the new mounting bracket or fixture strap to the electrical box and look at the mounting plate or bracket first. With some plates, you will need to connect the wires first if there isn't an opening large enough to connect the wires, and then tuck the wires and the wire nuts into the box.
Interesting.
If you have fixture straps with threaded rods where you're going to be putting decorative caps over this, see how they want it mounted, either horizontal or vertical, and use a small level to make sure it's plumb or level. If you have fixture plates, whether they're small or large, you're going to want to use a level to make sure that it's level when you screw it tight to the box. And some plates will have tabs that need to be leveled, so you can put your level right on top of this tab and then adjust it until it's level, and then you're going to tighten it to your box.
Right.
If you have a metal box and you don't have a ground wire, Once you connect your strap or plate, you want to confirm with a multimeter that the strap or plate is grounded. So you're going to separate your wires, turn on the power with your multimeter set up to test for 120 volts. You're going to touch the hot wire and the bracket, and it should show 120 volts. That way you know the bracket is grounded.
Right.
If you have a metal box and no ground wire, some electricians will attach a grounding pigtail to the metal box.
What's that?
And so this is usually a 12-gauge wire, short piece of wire with a screw that's attached to it. And there's a hole in a metal box where you screw this into. And now if you've got a grounded metal box, you've got a green wire that you can either attach to your fixture strap or a plate. Or if you have a ground wire coming out of your fixture, it just gives you another way to ground it.
Cool.
Some vanity lights will have a ground wire coming out of the fixture, some won't. If you have non-metallic cable and your light has a ground wire, you're going to connect the ground wire from the box and from the fixture plate or strap to the ground wire from the light. If your light doesn't have a ground wire, connect the bare ground wire in your electrical box to the green ground screw on the mounting strap or plate. Or if you've added a ground wire to your mounting strap, connect that to the ground wire in the box. And then when you screw the fixture to the mounting plate, it's going to be grounded.
Okay.
If your fixture has multiple sockets, they may all be connected, and you're going to have one hot wire and one neutral wire. For some fixtures, you're going to have multiple neutral wires and multiple hot wires that all need to be connected together to the wires in the box.
Okay, that seems crazy to me.
Yeah. Most lights will come with wire connectors, or you're going to have the wire connectors from the old light. Connect the hot wires together and the neutral wires together. The wire in your electrical box is generally going to be solid wire, and the wire on your vanity light is going to be stranded. You want to make sure that all the strands are twisted together nicely. You're going to line up the wire from the box to the wire on your fixture and insert it into a wire connector. When I was trained by my electricians, they taught me to strip the stranded wire about 1/4 inch longer than the solid wire. And then when you line them up, that stranded wire is going to be a little bit longer. You're going to use a wire connector with a spring inside, and you're going to twist it together, and that's going to help hold the stranded wire against the solid wire. And you want to turn the wire connector clockwise to get it snug, and you should snug it up so much that the wires themselves should twist around each other, and then tug on each wire just to make sure that they're all tight.
I really appreciated all your hand gestures.
After your wiring is connected, connect the fixture to the mounting plate or bracket. You're going to put in your light bulbs, turn on the power to the circuit, and then test that the fixture works. When you're shopping for a vanity light, some can be mounted with the bulbs up or down.
Ooh.
So you can check out the box for that. Vanity lights with the bulbs up, that's going to give you more ambient lighting for the bathroom. And that's good if it's your only light source. It's going to bounce more light off the ceiling.
Right.
With the bulbs facing down, it's going to give you better task lighting if you want to illuminate your sink or a counter. And then bulbs that face out kind of give you the best of both worlds. When you're picking your light bulbs, check the socket size for your fixture. E26 is a standard light bulb size in the US. It could be called medium or standard base on the packaging. And this is the most common size I saw for vanity lights, so just a standard bulb size. Check the max wattage for each socket. Some boxes I looked at recommended an A19 bulb. And that's just, they just think that looks the best in there. Okay. So this is just the shape and the size of the bulb. A is the shape. It's referred to as a pear shape. It's just the classic light bulb shape.
Right.
19 is the size in eighths of an inch. So an A19 would be 19 eighths, which would be 2 3/8 wide at the widest part of the bulb.
Why does anybody need to know that, Jason?
Because it's cool.
Do you have anything else to add?
With electrical projects, always turn off the power to the circuit you're working on and use a tester to confirm it's off.
Right.
Use a tester to confirm your work is grounded if you're working with metal boxes without a ground. Electrical projects potentially can be dangerous from a shock hazard or a fire hazard, so if you're unsure or uncomfortable with your project, hire a professional.
Let's wrap this up.
You can subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast app.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review.
You can check out our home improvement videos on our YouTube channel, Fix It Home Improvement.
And you can subscribe to that as well.
You can download our ebooks, Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, books 1 through 13 on Amazon.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a 5-star rating and review.
You can email us at fixitpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow Cindy on Twitter at FixItCohost. And you can follow us on Instagram, Fix It Home Improvement.
Thank you for listening.
Talk to you next week.